What's up, my fellow artists and art enthusiasts alike? I'm Mark, welcome to the Art with Mark YouTube channel, and today we're going to learn how to make an abstract portrait. So to get started, the first thing I did is I went to Pinterest and I made several different boards to learn and study from. So the first board I made was this one right here that you're looking at right now of abstract portraits. Now, if you study these abstract portraits, you'll see that the artists use cool and warm colors on varying sides of the different planes of the face. Definitely something to take note of and to think about as we work through the different steps that we're going to go through to brush up our skills to get this project done. I haven't drawn in a very long time, and it's been a while since I've drawn heads in general. So before we even do the abstract portrait, the first thing we're going to do is the 100 Heads Challenge. Now, if you're not familiar with what the 100 Heads Challenge is, it's basically where you draw 10 heads a day for 10 days in a row to brush up your skills on how to draw the head, the face, the different proportions, and basically brush up your drawing skills on drawing heads. So we're gonna start with that, and then we'll move into the abstract portrait painting. Let's go.
While gathering up my Pinterest boards for this project, I decided I needed to brush up on my Loomis head method skills, so I did so by watching some videos by Stan Prokopenko of Proko.com. I'll go ahead and put a link in the card at the top and in the description down below. When I was considering how to break up this video and this project up into bite-sized pieces so that way I could make it through it and you could make it through it, I decided for the 100 Heads Challenge I was going to break it up into 5 different sections. So I'm going to be drawing some Loomis heads, some skulls. I'm going to be drawing planes of the head, or different heads that accentuate the planes of the face and the head. We're going to do some regular heads and then some abstract style heads as well to prepare for the ultimate goal of this project.
That's the first one right there. Took a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and switch it to time lapse.
When it comes to the Loomis head method, it's my understanding that the general idea is that the head is divided into 3 even sections on average. So when you start with the circle, you basically divide it in half, and that is where the eyebrow ridge is going to go in most cases. Now, when you do the Loomis head method, one of the ideas is to scale the head back to its most basic and fundamental form and shape, because depending on how the head is turned, you may not have 3 even sections, and then there are differences in various heads as well. So some heads will have a lower third where the jawbone is, which is much larger than the third between the nose and the eyebrow ridge, and then occasionally you might have a larger forehead than the nose and the eyebrow ridge. So when you do the Loomis head method, it gives you a better idea on how these variations can change from person to person, and also depending on the age of the person. So generally, children and kids have a smaller lower third of the face than on an adult. I definitely learned during this process that very oftentimes when I make my jawbone, I oftentimes don't make it low enough or large enough. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Next up, we are working on skulls. So one thing I learned while working on all of these skulls is the brow ridge on the skull is pretty much always in the same spot. It very rarely has any differences in it, and this really helped me later on when I was drawing the faces, and I came to a better understanding of how that middle line that we draw on our circle is really defining where that brow ridge is, and it helps define where the eyebrows are going to go. I do believe I said something earlier about there being some differences in the brow ridge. There really isn't many. If there's any difference in the third between the brow ridge and the nose, it's generally not because of the brow ridge. At least this is what I've noticed in my experience so far. Keep in mind, I only drew 10 skulls for this particular challenge. I can't remember if I've ever drawn skulls before. I think I've maybe drawn 1 or 2 before. So definitely take my experience with a grain of salt and refer back to that video I linked to by Proko earlier, because he has much more experience with these things than I do, and he can explain it far better than I can. But wait until after you watch this video to do that, because if you don't, I'm gonna find you and push you down a flight of stairs. No, don't do it! Oh, oh, I'll teach you to leave my video before it's over. Don't let it happen again!
You broke my arm!
For real though, when I first started this video, I actually thought I was gonna draw all 100 heads in 20 hours. I had calculated that it was gonna take me 12 minutes a head, and I was ready to do it, but I learned really quickly, especially when I got to these skulls, that my skills were not up to the task. Each one of these skulls took me like, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours apiece. That said, now that I've done the 100 Heads project once, I think I'll probably revisit this maybe once a year and try and get a gauge on the growth of my artistic skills by doing this once a year. Perhaps in a few years I'll be able to do all 100 heads in 24 hours. I have to admit, when I first started this project and I was planning out these different sections, I felt like this particular section would probably be the most important for what we're ultimately trying to achieve by doing this entire project to begin with. So keep in mind, the whole purpose of this project is to do an abstract portrait. Specifically, I want to do an abstract self-portrait, but this will work for any kind of abstract portrait you might want to do. The importance of drawing the different planes of the head is to understand the different ways that light reflects off of the various planes of the head depending on where the source of light is coming from. And once I did this particular part of the project, I started seeing these different planes of people's faces everywhere I was looking. Watching TV, just talking to someone in person, I could suddenly discern the different planes of their face and their head very distinctly. And as we identified earlier, this is key to making an abstract portrait, to know where to place the cool colors and the warm colors. Welcome to the game show where we present you with drawings of celebrity faces that are so bad you can't even tell who they are. And now here's your host, Pat Paradolia.
Thank you. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, I see so many faces. Ugly faces. Okay, the rules of this game are, I'm going to present you with some very ugly drawings of celebrity faces, and your job is to guess who they are in the comments below. First up, we have this bald fellow here. This celebrity is a stature in his field, in every field that he works in, from social media to movies, and he really wants to know if you can smell what it is that he's cooking. If you can guess who this is, put it in the comments below. Alright, this next guy is known for performing all of his own stunts amazingly, and if he gets stuck in traffic, watch out, because he's gonna come kick you in your face. I don't want to mess with that guy. He's twice my age and he'll still kick my butt from here to Shanghai. This next celebrity is a sex symbol from yesteryear. She's well known for being an actress, a singer, a model, and seducing the most powerful man in the world. If you can tell who this woman is, put it in the comments below for your chance to win who knows what. Alright, moving right along here. This next celebrity is an actor known for many roles spanning across the decades. Probably most known for being the captain of a starship going where no man has gone before. I think my descriptions of these people might actually be giving them away. If you can tell who that is, put it down in the comments below for your chance to win. This beautiful young woman made her debut as an actress as a young child in a very popular magical series. If you can tell who this woman is, put it in the comments below. Alright. Folks, we're almost out of time here. We only got time for one more left. Oh, another face. Okay, and this last guy is as big of a star as his arms are around, and if you mess with him, he'll hammer you into the ground. If you can tell who this actor is, put it in the comments below. Okay, everybody. Here, I want to thank all of the contestants for playing. If you participated by putting a comment down below, I appreciate you very much. I want to thank the studio audience for joining us today. I'm Pat Paradolia. Oh, there's a face that I know.
To be better prepared to accomplish the ultimate objective of this project, the abstract portrait painting, I decided it was a good idea to try and draw some abstract portraits just to get some practice in and figure out how I can vary the different colors on the different planes of the face to get the sort of results that we're looking for. One thing I learned through this section of the challenge is that I may not have actually been correct about the variations in warm and cool colors on the different planes of the face. There are some of the pictures I did here which were just cool colors, you know, blue and purple, stuff like that, and they turned out really good. Another thing to note about some of these heads that I'm drawing here is I purposely looked for heads that were taken through a photographic technique called color gel photography. If you check out the Pinterest board I made for the 100 Heads Challenge in the links down below in the description, you'll see a number of these different pictures that I collected if you would like to try and use them to practice your own abstract drawings before you try your own abstract portrait painting. They were really good practice for figuring out how the different colors of the light can hit the different planes of the face and various ways that you can go about drawing or painting those colors onto the face to get a more abstract result. Now, another thing to note is, even though I've showed you a lot of the heads that I drew during this challenge, I was not able to include all 100 heads in this video. Plus, I felt like just doing time-lapse the whole time would get a little bit boring for you to watch, so I included that little game show, which I hope you really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making it. But if you are interested in seeing more of the heads I drew in making this project, check out my Instagram account. It serves as kind of a behind the scenes. I post a lot on it when I'm in production on a video, and you can stay up to date with what's going on in the Art with Marc studio by following me on Instagram. There were a bunch of celebrity heads that I drew that didn't make it into the game show segment, so if you want to go check those out, go over to Instagram. It's also where I kind of came up with that idea when I started drawing those heads and asking people on Instagram who they thought it was. It became clear to me it was a pretty good way to engage my audience, and so I was like, you know, I should try and include this in the video in some type of way. If you're curious on who those pictures were, if I didn't already answer in the comments below, definitely check out Instagram, and there are a whole bunch more heads for you to play the guessing game with and earn a million, billion, gajillion points.
Oh my gosh, I'm super stoked that we've made it this far. I cannot believe how much effort it has taken to do the 100 Heads Challenge. It was way harder than I thought it would be, but we've made it. And now it's time to start the abstract painting. The first thing I did was I went ahead and made a little bit of a mock-up of myself in Procreate from this picture here. So we're gonna go ahead and do our best to do something similar on this canvas. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a grid just to kind of help things out a little bit. And once we get a basic form down like what we have here, then we'll go ahead and start our painting. So with all that covered, let's go ahead and flip this into time lapse. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you're looking for any other abstract painting techniques, check out this playlist right here.